Hey, Dr. Dolly. My name is Sam, and I'm a brand new intern in ENT this year. I was fortunate over the last 3 to 6 months to have a lot of free time at the end of my fourth year, as well as the quarantine era, to dive into my financial education, which I exclusively give the credit to you for after reading your book and listening to your podcast. I have a philosophical question for you about investing. A classical three fund portfolio has a one-to-one relationship of U.S. stocks to international stocks. In my mind, this seems a lot like it's just an international stock fund with a really heavy U.S. tilt. Is there a reason this is so common? Does the U.S. Just have that much better returns to where it justifies this? To me, this seems like it's going against the common wisdom of not putting all your eggs in one basket. It also seems similar to how you're often encouraged to not have a significant portion of your portfolio in the company you work for. I just wanted to see if you had any thoughts about this. I appreciate all your insight, and I'm so appreciative of all you do. I proselytize you to anyone that'll listen to me that's in the medical field. Thanks again.
You guys are getting really good at asking the harder questions on these last few podcasts, and nobody's asking me the same ones I've answered 100 times over and over again. Those ones are much easier. So Sam's a new intern, is already pretty smart about money and investing. He's saying, why would you tilt toward U.S. stocks? Isn't that the same as home country bias and investing in your own employer's stocks? Well, not entirely. First of all, the U.S. has a few advantages, right? It is, for all its problems, it is the most financially successful country that has ever existed in the world and has some unique freedoms and liberties and institutions and cultures that make a difference compared to some other countries. And so, if for no other reason, tilting a little bit toward the US is not entirely crazy because of that reason. In fact, Jack Bogle doesn't even think international stocks are necessary at all because US companies do so much business overseas. Obviously, lots of people disagree with him. The other thing that would suggest maybe you should tilt your portfolio a bit toward US stocks is that you're going to spend dollars in retirement. And so by doing so, you reduce the amount of currency risk that you have. For example, if the dollar weakens dramatically, or rather the dollar strengthens dramatically, and you have a bunch of money in overseas stocks, those returns are going to be relatively poor. Now, my portfolio is not 1-to-1 US to international. It's actually 2-to-1. US to international. So in that respect, because I have more than the market weight of US stocks, I suppose I have a US tilt to my portfolio. And I'm perfectly happy with that. I think reasonable is anywhere from about 80% of your stocks being US stocks to market weight, which is around 50-50. But lots of people disagree on this topic. The most important thing is whatever percentage of international stocks you decide to have is to pick something and stick with it, knowing that over the long run, international stocks are going to outperform US stocks in some years, and US stocks are going to outperform international stocks in some years. And you want to make sure you own the winning class when the time comes. So don't get caught performance chasing, doing whatever has done well in the recent past, because you get burned doing it. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.